Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Hearthstone. I guess we need to do Druid and Rogue now. So we'll hop into this. Just gonna try and play everything, I guess wild. We'll start with Druid, see what that deck is like. And then try Rogue. You would think I would know what my decks are, but no. No, I just had an interesting thought as my Hearthstone deck tracker just crashed. First time that's ever happened here. Let's launch that. I just got a new update and this is the first time they've ever done a crashy version. Which is kind of weird because you would think the one program I could give some slack to crashing would be the program that's sitting there messing with files of another game to work together. This is a rope machine deck here. So I was just thinking about like how far ahead could I get if I just wanted to take a day and start streaming. See, I think about other ways to potentially improve my channel, and I don't want to go into like the drama channels, although there's drama everywhere, and so I could just jump on the bandwagon and talk and make videos specifically titled like YouTube Heroes or Where's the Fair Use. I could probably put out a new video every day talking about it just over and over again until people finally caught on that that's what I was doing. But
portals online.
That's not something ideally I would want to do, because if I gain an audience on that, then my audience goes away the second I stop doing that, and that's not what I want to do with my channel. I'd much rather make my channel full of content I actually care about. It's the same thing as playing bad games versus playing games I actually want to sort of play. Even if the games turn out to be bad, there's at least some small interest there to begin with. Let's see. Like when I played Castlevania Lords of Shadow, I didn't know anything about the game, but I kind of wanted to play it. And even though it was kind of a bad game, still, it would be better to play that than to play some Steam Greenlight, like RPG Maker thing that's like, oh, I have no interest in playing this at all. But streaming, getting away from the drama channels, the other thing that seems to somewhat get promoted on YouTube, and maybe it's just my YouTube app and my YouTube login is only giving me certain tags because I only get music, news, gaming, and live are the only tabs I have at all. So that seems like it's like some other users might get different ones. I also haven't gotten the community tab on my app or on my channel, but oddly the YouTube Heroes translations and subtitles feature kind of did get integrated way before anything else. It just got pushed forward. So I would hope that the truth there, the truth that's being unspoken by YouTube, who never says anything, and that's the problem, is that the concept of YouTube Heroes is like 2 years into production and they didn't talk to anybody about it. And so they're so in deep there, that's why they're sticking to it even though it makes no sense. That would be my hope. That would be my ultimate desire, is that there was some explanation for why that program got added just instantaneously with no other consideration.
through.
But live streaming is what the one I was thinking about. And how could I live stream? If I had a day like this where I was going to live stream, I dropped the ball immediately by not having a consistent day. I would have to have so much like pre-recorded, ready to go, that it would be ridiculous. It almost demands a let's see. It almost demands that YouTube would just stop me from scheduling things early, so maybe a year in advance, which I'm not sure YouTube stops you scheduling things a year in advance. I'm not sure YouTube stops you scheduling anything in advance. Maybe 100 years in advance. The software just doesn't have a choice. But being just 1 or 2 months right now in advance and falling behind, I'm certainly not doing that. Of course, there might be some trickery or ways to change things so that I am closer. But I wouldn't have a consistent time, and I would just be playing this, and frankly, I don't know what to do when streaming. I really don't, because even when I watch other Twitch streamers, all they're doing is sitting there and either responding to the chat, which seems really, really difficult to pull off, or they're listening to music and on rare occasions responding to chat, or they're just like sitting there, I guess, in silence, and they don't usually sit there in total silence.
Ready to ride.
I run out of conversation things to have. And now, if I was actually capable of focusing, which I probably could pull that off while playing Hearthstone, if I was capable of focusing on the chat, that would be helpful. One of the things that I guess we can talk about YouTube Heroes is really, really scary. The way it's been presented, even the tier 1 abilities to like flag comments seems to be they didn't really explain it well. It seems like maybe they can only flag like YouTube help comments and not YouTube comments on other people's channels, which, because that's insane that they would have that power. Here we go. This is the second time I've ever made this character.
Bask in the glory of the V-O-70-R-O-N!
Begins now.
So this guy has quad attack. Mega Wind Fury can attack 4 turns.
For the wild.
So next time he's gonna do 12 damage. And there's no way to get this Voltron character. Well, I guess there are some other ways. But then the mass flagging videos is the one on YouTube Heroes everybody is talking about. Everybody on YouTube is talking about it. It's at least
There will be.
that seems crazy too. But there's ways you could go about this if they're gonna say like community guideline flags don't count until they're reviewed by some actual person that works at YouTube. So you could get like hundreds of flags and they may come back and say, well, we've seen that 100 people flagged you, but they're all wrong, so that's it. Someone promoted an idea where people could protect a video and say that flags for this being offensive or something is inaccurate, and so this video should be protected and never taken down. Again, that's way too much power to give to random people on YouTube, but the concept at least is slightly interesting to have protected videos. If there was anything positive they could do that said like this video should be promoted, that this is a good video, would be great too. But again, we can't trust.
Can't do that.
You just can't trust the people, random people, to do work that you need to pay people to do.
Job done.
And create some jobs. Honestly, I think they're just allowing advertisers to bully them, and nobody wants to work with Google like nobody wants to work with Netflix, and eventually they're going to get to it. Now, I did think of one great idea, and it really doesn't have much to do with any of the YouTube stuff, and more has to do with content ID. YouTube could promote a lot of improved content if they kind of made a new tab that said, this is our karaoke tab. Now, karaoke in itself is not the reason why this would be a good idea. The reason would be they would give you a random selection of all the songs that they already have a list for that you don't need a license and won't get content ID for. And so what it should do is it should do like automatic video by default, so somebody can just plug in the microphone or record themselves singing on their phone, and then it should run that audio and say, this audio does sound like our copy of this song, so you can't like take some song that would get content ID'd. For example, let's say If I Could Turn Back Time by Cher. That's probably a terribly old reference, but let's say that is going to get content ID. Well, if, say, a song like America the Beautiful was on their list of saying, you can sing this and karaoke this, and you'll be fine, and your video will go up with extra video, or you can add your own video if you want. That would really help. We could start to find a lot better singers and instrument players, like not songwriters per se, because they would be writing their own song then and they couldn't do the karaoke thing. And I know karaoke just means singing, but I don't know what do you call it. It's covers, basically. So if they could have this whole list and this kind of gamification of it, and like do this, and when you do this, you'll start to get enough revenue. And if you want to use this ad revenue, we're not gonna hold it hostage or anything. We'll just pay you like any other AdSense once your channel got there. But if you wanted to take some of this revenue, we've negotiated some automatic licenses with some copyrighted songs. So if you want to sing this really copyrighted song, as it is in America, they have to sell you a license, but the license is, I think, potentially very expensive or just slightly too expensive. If the license, for example, was $75, you're not really going to ever get that $75 back that you invest. But in the meantime, that could just be kind of like a false offering, I guess. And now that I think about it more, it is kind of just like a dishonest offering. I would love to see YouTube negotiate with those people and say, look, we can get your licenses to these songs for $5. So if you get $5 in your ad revenue for all your free things, then we'll get you a license here that will allow you to make revenue on this more popular song. But even if you take that element out, the karaoke idea, I think, actually works. In the little sense that it encourages new people to make new covers of songs that are going to be content ID free. It helps people not get content ID because they can put it in a protected thing and say, we already checked this audio, it will pass our content ID, and we won't ever scan it again for new songs. That was one of the things that was the problem. Like somebody responding to the YouTube Heroes videos, somebody just, some scammer claimed to own the video that YouTube helped put up, and that certainly becomes its own issue when somebody's claiming the revenue to your reaction of something that was put up as an announcement. Press releases are usually not capable of being copyrighted. Just in general, the concept is ridiculous. But I would want to see more covers of people because I'm tired of seeing Vimeo music on there. The only real music people that make any headway and get a lot of views are a few comedy like versions of songs where they do a cover and they're so big that they probably did buy a license or something, and I'd like to make that a much more open field to everyone else. To start pushing out Vimeo songs, start putting in more things. You know, 30, 40, 50 years ago, 100 years ago, 200 years ago, everybody sang. At least everybody went to a church and sang. And more and more, it has become this division where it's like, no, you're not a good singer, no, you shouldn't sing unless you're getting signed by some big record deal. And it just kind of doesn't make the most amount of sense. It's becoming elitist, and that's something I don't want. Like, everybody can sing. How good is always variable, but everybody can sing. Almost everybody can play some kind of instrument, maybe a kazoo at the very least, slide whistle, triangle, but when you look at YouTube, it's like 100% of that music tab is Vimeo stuff. And frankly, that should be Google Music, and that's kind of what Google Music is, I think, attempting at least to do, is bring about more, bring people to that service and away from YouTube, which should be videos of new content. Speaking of should have videos of new content, I looked at Geek and Sundry and looked at their schedule for 2016, and man, is it just nothing. Felicia Day's not on there. I think Will Wheaton is sick or something, or one of his family members is sick, because his personal YouTube video hasn't had anything on it in 5 months. Maybe they all moved to some other service. That's certainly, like, Rooster Teeth has tried that. That guy with the glasses has tried that. In fact, I've just recently started watching That Guy with the Glasses for nostalgia critic on YouTube, and it seems like they just post reruns of old things he did on his own site. Then I looked at a site, and there's tons of stuff that show up on that site that they don't even bother to promote. It's one thing to say like, this is only directly from our site. It's another thing to not even mention it exists. So that's some weird things too, and that's my karaoke idea, which it would certainly be popular in certain Asian countries.
So many viewers.
But I don't know how much that translates to the average YouTube viewer. I very rarely get a non-English speaking video at all, which then kind of brings back to the YouTube Heroes translations tab. Is I seriously doubt very many people are going to bother to translate it into any other language. Let's see. So I was watching Gears of War, Digital Foundry, and they were looking at the PlayStation 4 and Gears of War, which I guess Gears of War is going to be the Xbox One, but maybe it's coming on the PlayStation 4 too, because that's yeah, that doesn't make a lot of sense.
A tale of terrible tragedy.
I can't do that.
But
Here we go.
apparently, somehow Digital Foundry saw Gears of War, and when they saw it, they were talking about how it had this dynamic resolution, and the dynamic resolution basically tried at least to keep the quality the same, but in some scenes, as you get more effects and such, you actually go down from like a 1080p to a 920p, or from a 4K to a 2K to a 1080p. How far it goes in anything, I don't know. So I don't know if you can turn up the resolution effects and everything to the maximum on a really used video card, and it would try to squeeze it down to 640 by 480. I imagine 720p would be the minimum that they would allow it.
Wonderful poisons.
Let's see, deal 2 damage.
Thank you.
Let's go ahead and kill this guy.
On with the show.
Here we go.
So, but the concept is interesting. It makes a bit of a problem, though, for me, because that could really mess up OBS. Maybe OBS will have no trouble with it, but it might very well have images like black bars just appear whenever it went down the resolution and then disappear when it goes back up. It could just completely freak out OBS completely, and I have no idea how or what you would do then.
Get in there and fight, maggot!
So that is a consideration. It's just like
Here we go.
what to do if I ran into something like that. Return in front of me. Can't do that. Alright, I'm gonna lose. Need to go back to Druid. But also, it's an interesting thought in games in general. Do I want the resolution to go down, or do I want the quality to go down? I think almost 100% of the time. No, I think 100% of the time. I would prefer the quality to dynamically scale down before I prefer the resolution to scale down, because I think that would just be noticeable. I think it would be really, really easy to see that all of a sudden objects are bigger or smaller because the resolution has changed. Like this leaf, if this leaf got a few, like 30% bigger or smaller, that's really easy to see. If all of a sudden it said we're gonna just skip this one animation scene because because your video card graphics aren't happening. That's not as easy to notice. Like the swipe in or this little particles, if those particles were half as many pieces of particles, or those little flames here were half as many, that's kind of hard to even notice. So I think that's what I want. I'll turn down the anti-aliasing so everything's a little less smooth. Seems like there's several different things you could do.
Powering up! Portal online!
So I think I'd much prefer dynamic quality. Just not the dynamic quality that we have now of frame hitching and just it locking up and dropping frames. Dropping frames is probably the least of the issues. Speaking of issues, Street Fighter V for PC puts a system file in your computer and then just runs at the kernel level like some execution things. It sounds like a rootkit. It sounds like it is just straight up doing something shady there. I can neither confirm nor deny that it actually is, but it's most definitely an example of Capcom, I believe. That's the makers of Street Fighter. Just not understanding very, very basic things in computers. And it sounds like DRM or something, trying to lock into your computer. Because there's no reason why they should have even made their system work anything like that. It's 100% ridiculous. Well, I guess I'm gonna lose this guy.
Engage!
Job's done.
Nope, there was a bear trap instead. Explosion trap. Interesting. So I would have to think very hard if I was gonna install Street Fighter. Now, fortunately for me, I don't play fighting games, so not an issue really. But that is definitely confusing. I also got, for leaving a game running, which is, this is how you seem to get these coupons on rare occasions, or booster packs on extremely rare occasions. I got a offer for sorry, yawning. Gosh,
All the
I'm
while.
sleepy still. I got an offer for 33% off of headphones, which 33% off of a $20 game, you're talking like $7, a little less than $7 off. So $13 for the game, basically. If I do rough math while half falling asleep, but that's not a great deal. But we have recently learned it takes about 7 months for a new game to get down to 50%. So it's also not a terrible deal. It's just something that's kind of not on the cards also. And inherently, I think that's
Let's show our guests
the issue. Is that I really can't take their offer because I really just wasn't planning on buying Headlander and playing it. Now, if I was going to play Headlander when it was brand new, I wouldn't have gotten the coupon fast enough. If I'm going to play it in the future, I probably do want to play it. It's just not right now. So it's kind of sucks to get something and not use it, but that's the whole trickery of these things, isn't it? Is that they're hoping that you will think it's such a good deal you can't pass it up and you'll spend more money. And the trick to actually save money is often not to spend money. So, the day will come if at some point where I'll have enough funding where it'll make sense to buy games as soon as I get sales. Things are on sale more than the budget I'm already spending. But at that point, I'll probably just jump past that and have most games already. And even if I don't have the game, it very well may not mean anything that way. I'm gonna go and kill this guy just in my turn. See, this will be our last game of this. Titanfall 2 had a Mountain Dew and Buffalo Wild Wings multiplayer promotion. So if you drank Mountain Dew or ate at Buffalo Wild Wings, you would receive points to go into a Coliseum multiplayer mode in Titanfall 2. It seems kind of like a ridiculous promotion on several aspects. It is 100% that cliche. Here, I'm gonna lose everybody. Oh, interesting. I thought the creature I just attacked would have done 3 damage to everybody, but whatever. I guess that was a battle cry, not a death rattle. There's really nothing to say about the promotion other than it's just silly. I don't know why Mountain Dew pushes and promotes its drinks so much to gamers. It seems kind of pointless. How many gamers don't know Mountain Dew exists? How many gamers actually drink Mountain Dew? Of those people that drink it, are they going to drink more because of promotions like this? The last time any soft drink company had any promotion that was really worth the effort, it was when you could win free Cokes or Sprites or something just by taking the bottle top off, and it says win free Coke or something under it, and you just show that bottle top to people and they'd say, yeah, you won, and get another one.
For the wild.
Since then, they've gone to these points programs. They've added these stipulations. You may get the value of a free Coke, like you would have to mail for it and wait 6 to 8 weeks. It never seems to deliver. It's a whole rebate thing. Never really win anything of any real value, of course.
For the wild.
But yeah, I don't think you need promotions unless you've got a new drink out there and you're not owned by Coca-Cola Company or Pepsi, which then you definitely need promotions. But here it just seems like Mountain Dew just wastes their money. As for Buffalo Wild Wings, it's just a chain franchise that sells chicken wings. I don't think there's anything special about it. I'm sure some people will say it's good, some people will probably say it's bad, and I imagine it wildly varies based on which franchise store you're going to. Yeah, I don't really have anything to say about it, do I? Well, we've made no progress. Next time we'll try Shaman and Warlock, and then I'm gonna be done. Which is kind of good because I'm not feeling the greatest, so taking the rest of the day off and just lying in bed and playing Hearthstone sounds like a good idea. Anywho, that's it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment if you want to, and watch every second of my videos. All that helps out. If you want to support me further, you can click on my name, Rydo. On the right will be a blue button that says support this channel. Click it and make a donation. And if you want to friend or follow me on basically any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.